This is a product review of the SUNUS work light, rechargeable battery operated work light. Here's the unit here. You can see it is primarily plastic all the way around. There's no real metal on this device. But in the time that I've been using it over the last 3 days, I've been using it quite a bit outside, this metal is pretty sturdy. I haven't found anything about it that looks like it's flimsy or anything like that. Obviously, I'm not going to drop this from a ladder, but just using it outside where it could get bumped around a little, I don't have any major concerns about the construction of it. It is pretty sturdy. These black pieces here are plastic as well. You can see them around the edges, and you can see some around the back of the handle here. As I mentioned, they are just plastic, but they do add a little bit of extra cushion or a little bit of extra support there, right where the unit is most likely to be dropped. Let me give you a quick idea of the size of the unit. As you can tell, it's not very heavy. It's pretty lightweight, even with the batteries in. It's very portable, lightweight enough to carry around outside, as I've done quite a few times. Works really well for that. From edge to edge here, you can see a little bit, maybe 7 3/4 inches, somewhere around that, to 8 inches in length. Going in height, as you can see, right around 5.5 inches. And going this way in thickness, it's about 2.5 inches thick. So that kind of gives you an idea of the thickness of the unit and the basic size of the unit. And you can see the number of light LED bulbs, I guess, for lack of a better word. Puts out quite a bit of light. I have used this outside, as I've mentioned, and I found that even though it doesn't put out as much light as my old halogen bulb, the good part is it puts out enough light to get the job done, and I don't have to carry electrical cords around, and I don't have to worry about the heat that came off of those halogen bulbs, which was always an issue for me. Just wanted to point out the handle here on back. You can see it is adjustable. I think there's about 6 different ways to adjust it. Once it's in place, it stays sturdy. I haven't had a situation yet where it's starting to slip or anything like that, so that part of the construction looks pretty nice. I do wish that there was a way to make it a little bit more adjustable so that I could put it in exactly the position I want. But the 6 that I have here are good, and they get the job done. A couple other items here I wanted to point out on something that's not quite as nice as I would like it. You have 2 magnets here, and in theory these magnets are for you to put it up against something metal, and then it will stick in place for you. In my test, I found that really only one of these 2 magnets work, and that doesn't get the job done, because what happens is that the unit tends to slide on this side, and then the whole unit just falls down. So an upgrade of the magnets is definitely called for. I do like the solar panel here in the back. I normally, right out of the box, I would plug this into the USB charger, which I'll show you in just a moment. But for keeping this topped off, for keeping the battery charged, I do like to have the solar unit. I just simply put it in a sunny window, and it keeps the battery topped off. I don't believe I would try to use this solar panel to charge the unit from empty all the way up to full. It might work, but it would probably take forever. But it's easy to put it in a window and keep it topped off. That way it's always full whenever I need it. Speaking of the USB charging, underneath this gasket here, you can see 2 units. The first one down here is the micro cable that is used to charge the unit. And I found it did take a few hours to charge it, as long as I had a powerful enough charging brick to go with it. But it did get the job done, but it would take a few hours. Obviously it drains faster than it charges, but it's not difficult at all to charge. Right above that you can see an output port. This is to charge another device, a cell phone for example. I will say though that this port only outputs 1 volt, so if you're going to charge something with it, it's going to be very, very slow. This is another one of those nice to have items that I wish was a little nicer. I do wish that it would be able to output something more than 1 volt so that I could charge the cell phone faster. But as it is, it's nice having that option. It's nice having that feature to be able to use in case of an emergency. Here you can see the LED indicators. You can see number 4 flashing there. That's because I have it out here in the sun and it's recharging using the solar power, which is a really nice feature to have. As I mentioned, I really like being able to just put it in a window and keep it charged. On-off switch, there's a high, a low, and a medium beam. I was able to get about 1 3/4 hours, 1 3/4 hours of light out of this unit on high power, and that's from going from the number 4 level just barely down to the number 1 level. As soon as it got down to the number 1 level, I decided I didn't want to run it all the way down, so I stopped there. That took about 1 3/4 hours. I'm pretty confident that if I did want to run it longer, I could. So 2 hours, maybe 2 1/4 hours, I think is a reasonable estimate about how much time I could get from this unit on high power. Obviously on low and medium, it would last longer. One other option on the on-off switch is it has like an emergency flashing function, which is blue and red, and that can be seen for quite a distance. If I was to put this in a car and I needed it for an emergency, having that flashing light would be a very nice feature to have. All in all, I'm pleased with this unit. I am really happy that I have it. I've already gotten quite a bit of use out of it, and I expect that I will get quite a bit more use out of it in the months and years to come.